Did we meet in Waco?
Yeah, we met in Waco, Texas.
In ScanRoad's offices. A contractor was doing a project, and you were with ELF at the time, and they were supplying the polymer modified microsurfacing emulsion. And the contractor had a piece of equipment that he purchased from us, from ScanRoad, and then modified himself and was trying to use it, and he was struggling, having difficulties. And we had a big powwow meeting. And the rough start was when I mentioned something to Piles about if you guys would spend less time on the golf course and more time out in the field, you'd know he's having a rough time.
Congratulations. I thank my partner, Ergon, because 15 years of a great tournament that everybody loves to play in and come back to. You do a better job every year.
Viking Construction is a specialty asphalt contractor. We do asphalt emulsion, slurry seals, and microsurfacing. We started Viking Construction in 1992. We incorporated it, and it was then owned by ScanRoad, a division of Nobel Industries from Sweden. And they had a facility in Waco, Texas, where they built slurry seal and microsurfacing machines. They also built asphalt emulsion plants as they sold both of those into the world market. And their core business in Nobel Industries was the chemical business. I was the guy running it from the get-go. In '93, we started bidding state work. And we also used it as a showcase to bring prospective customers to come see our equipment operate. There was a decision made that since AXO was a chemical company, they wanted to concentrate on their core business, and that they really didn't belong in entrepreneurial businesses like contracting. They really couldn't add any value to the contracting business. So they were very good to me. I was in the right place at the right time, and it ended up as a structured a very good deal for me. So in 2002, I financially took over. Guy's personal home on his 40th birthday party, and a lot of his friends were there who were hot mix asphalt contractors. And we were talking on a patio, and he asked me what business I was in. And I said, I'm in the construction business. And one of the guys kind of knew what I did, so he kind of put his glasses down and shook his head to the other guy. So the other guy says, well, if you're not in the construction business, what do you do? And I said, well, all right, I'm in the asphalt business. And the first guy, who knew what I did, put his glasses back down and just kind of shook his head again. The first guy says, well, I said, well, why don't you ask him what I do? So he scratched his chin a little bit and thought. He said, I'd say you're in the exterior decorating business. I'll bet your road signs say wet paint. And for the next hour, these two guys in the hot mix business made a joke of, I'm not a real contractor, we're not real contractors, we're just painters. We run a state crew with about 25 people on it that does mostly state highway work with a big continuous run machine for microsurfacing. We run a city crew that has about 13 people on it with truck-mounted machines, primarily doing slurry seal, some microsurfacing, but more residential type work than highway work. And we started really a half a crew last year and continued with it. Has about 8 people on that crew, and they also have truck mounts, and they sometimes work with the city crew on a bigger project, or they can go off if we have a 1 or 2 or 3 day job we have to go do somewhere. Slurry seal and microsurfacing are very similar. They are a dense graded aggregate, 3/8 of an inch or smaller. For residential streets, we'll use a 1/4 inch minus gradation aggregate. For state highways, we use a 3/8 inch minus gradation aggregate. And they're mixed cold with an asphalt emulsion, a little bit of Portland cement that acts as a mineral filler and also a catalyst to chemically trigger the emulsion to break and set.
Builds early strength.
And those all the emulsions we use today are polymer modified, so they're high quality materials. The aggregates we use for our work are the best rated A classification aggregates because we're on the surface. And we're spreading those materials as a surface treatment to preserve or protect the existing pavement. We don't build pavements. we have to go on top of an existing pavement. And we primarily sell our materials as preventive maintenance treatments. The concept that we believe in very strongly is keeping good roads good. And that treatment on top is the roof over top of the structure that keeps the water and the air from penetrating and deteriorating or age hardening or oxidizing the binder in the underlying layers. And of course they have to have desirable surface characteristics like skid resistance and those things too. We're very good at it. We specialize in it. Everything else we have to do, we have developed friendships and relationships, or we have good subcontractors do those things for us. Since the interstate highway system was completed, the focus is not on building new roads anymore. Certainly we need to build expressways and we need to increase capacity and things, but in the past there was a big focus on building new. And now the focus has more shifted. It's shifting that we talk about maintaining the investment we have in the highway system, or preserving the infrastructure. And it's all part of asset management. You have a huge asset investment in the highways and the bridges, and we have to maintain those things. You have two automobiles. One's a brand new automobile and one's a 40-year-old junker pickup truck. And they both need their oil changed. Which one? And you can only afford to change oil in one of them. Which one do you change the oil in? You protect the investment of the new vehicle and take the chance with the older one until you can afford to do it. We worked with the Federal Highway Administration on the concept of a warranty for microsurfacing. And warranties at the time, this is 10, 15 years ago, were unheard of in the highway community. But in everything else we do in life today, you get a warranty with it. You want a guarantee. You want the person that's doing something to be responsible for what they did. But the other thing about our warranty is we're really only warranting our thin layer on the surface. We're not warranting it will do what they think it may do. We're warranting that it will perform as we know it will perform. So some people in the state of Texas think the warranty has value, and other people think it doesn't have value. I mean, I have a general philosophy that if you're making your living in an industry, you need to help support your industry. So we belong to some trade. We belong to the AGC. We belong to the International Slurry Surfacing Association. I'm active with the Transportation Research Board in Washington. Things like, Special Olympics that we contribute to each year. The Roadmasters it's an industry function that we're able to contribute to. And, I don't know if you can ever judge. I don't think an accountant could make sense of it and say that contribution brought in business, but makes you feel good. It does help support it. You're part of an industry. You need to participate with it. We don't play golf any more before the Roadmasters than we normally do. It's just an excuse we use to get out of the house where we have to go practice for the Roadmasters. If the Roadmasters wasn't coming, we'd probably be playing anyway. This year at the handicap committee, they wanted to give me a stroke, take me from an 11 to a 12. And there was some discussion about it, and people like Bobby Nyert would say, because we play in bed all the time, and other people were saying, don't worry about it. And the pro from our club said, don't worry about Dunn, he can't shoot to an 11. So after I ended up plus points, after 2 days, I think I was +1 or +1.5. The first person I went to was the pro and said, I did play to an 11. Do something a little unique this year. Miles found us matching knickers, outfits, direct from Scotland. So we very much looked the part both days. And after the first day, when Miles left his house, he said his wife woke up, saw him in his outfit, ready to leave. And her comment was, I don't care what anybody says, I think you look good. We have discussions every year of who we'd like to play with, and being on the handicap committee, that may give us a little advantage there. But we do that with other people. I mean, you're careful who you put together, and you try and help people from a business perspective if you can. But I don't know how much business is going on out there. developing relationships is business, but there's nobody trying to hard sell somebody anything out there that I've ever run into. It's the best golf tournament I play in. You know that. It's become a real tradition amongst our friends and peers. 15 years, right?
Yes.
I remember when we started, there was 5 groups playing. How many the first year?
38 players.
38 players the first year, so
Players first year.
18 teams. We were successful the very first year, and it took us 15 years to repeat. But we've been close a couple of years. We usually play well. It is our home course, so that's a slight advantage. But I think it evolved through the years that we recognized, or Miles recognized, that with this many players it was serious, and it needed to be serious thought from a non-biased crowd to make it as fair as we could make it. I know that our big discussion every year is on new players coming in. If we don't know them and none of the friends have played golf with them, you know, we talk about the new guy discount gets 2 extra strokes added, because we don't want somebody coming in and not telling the truth about their handicap and walking away with a tournament.
Did we dress for it or not?
Absolutely. We couldn't hardly dress like this.
And all the people you have to deal with, you pretty quickly learn those that you can trust and go to for advice, and they'll give you the straight shot. I use Miles probably way more than he recognizes that. He's been around so long, there's certain people that I'll go to Miles first and say, how do I deal with this situation with this person? And his advice is usually good.